It doesn't feel the same beyond the broken waves. There's no defeated hearts with just a little faith, and so I wait for you.
What's up, Revolution 935? This is Stefano, and I'm here for the second episode of Revolution O'Clock, our
Yay!
podcast with the beautiful Claudia Pavel.
I'm so happy it's our second episode. We are Stefano and Claudia, and this is Revolution O'Clock. And our guest today is an amazing superwoman from Australia, famous for her trance and house hits, the queen of trance music herself, Emma Hewitt. Welcome to Revolution O'Clock, our love.
Oh, well, thank you so much. What an amazing intro. I'm so happy to be here with you guys for your second episode. Thank you for having me.
I know, it's so amazing. How is life? How is Miami? You just moved here, right? Three years ago?
Yes, well, 3 years ago, apart from being stuck elsewhere during COVID. But yeah, I love Miami. It's great, you know. As you're experiencing now, the lifestyle is fantastic. People are friendly. Weather's good. I can't complain.
I know you're a citizen of the world, but so how come Miami? How did you decide to move here? And what's your favorite place here? What's your favorite thing to do in Miami?
Yeah, well, you know what? I love the beach. Yeah, singing as well. And I have quite a few musician friends that moved here, like Marcus and Adina, of course, who are like my besties, and Cosmic Gate guys are here as well. And everybody was living in LA. And after the 2020 kind of period, I felt like LA lost its vibe a little bit in some way. And Miami just seems to have this like new up and coming feeling about like a lot of people that are moving here are very artistic. There's a lot of startups, a lot of tech people moving here. It just feels like the place to be right now. There's an energy about it, you know?
Right? This is how we feel also.
Yeah. We managed completely differently the whole pandemic situation.
Yes.
So we were way open to host different people from other states, and we have a massive immigration of people
right? I feel
from
like
all over the world and all over the states, of course.
It's very forward thinking, and I
Yeah.
feel like, a lot of the people that are wanting, freedom and wanting different things in life, and entrepreneurs and musicians or whatever, are all moving here. So there's such a great energy here right now. I
you
love
said
it.
the magic word, freedom.
Yes, exactly.
I totally agree. I've met
Uh-huh.
so many wonderful, magical women and an amazing man that moved here recently. That's one of the reasons we actually started this podcast, because we feel like, of course, it's for the love of music and the artists, but then it's the amazing culture and interculturality of Miami. And, Stefano is Italian, I'm Romanian.
Yes,
Adina is Romanian
Yeah.
also. Marcus is German.
It's very
I'm talking about friends. And you're from
multicultural.
Australia. And it's just, we all come together and we create beautiful new communities and friendships. And it's just so wonderful. So you lived in Europe also, right?
I did. I lived in so many places. I've almost forgotten half of them, but I lived in Berlin, London, Amsterdam for a while. And then I was in LA for nearly 5 years as well, which I loved at the time, because that's when all the musicians kind of moved to LA, but everyone started moving away, and it lost its vibe. But Berlin was great, London was great, but the winters, I can't do the winters anymore.
We all
And now
know.
after being in
Absolutely.
Miami, I'm like, I'm not going back to a London winter ever again.
So I'm a female artist myself, and I can help not to tell you how much I admire you, not only as an artist, but as a woman also, because I know how hard it is, and how many misconceptions are about women artists in the industry. And
True.
I love supporting other women artists, and especially in the EDM industry, which is a world that is dominated by men 100%, I think.
Absolutely, yes.
How does it feel to be a woman in this industry? And
Yes,
what's the hardest part of it?
You've summed it up completely, and I feel like there's a misconception that women in the industry, and we spoke a little bit about this before we were recording, is the misconception that the women are divas, or we're in it for money or whatever, which is actually such
Money
a
and
myth.
fame.
A complete myth. But the women actually stick together really well. There's such a sisterhood, I find, in this industry, which is amazing.
Wow.
There's few of us, and when we find each other, I feel like there's such a camaraderie and such a sisterhood. It is
Soul
very
sisters.
soul sisters. It's very male dominated, and it's harder for us to be seen. So when we do make it to the point where we are seen and we all get to actually have our songs released and be heard, I think it's a wonderful thing that we all get to connect and develop a friendship over that as well.
So how does it feel in the whole industry, and what was the hardest part of actually making it in the industry?
Yeah, well, I felt when I first started out, I was very naive, and I kind of thought, if you make the music that you love and other people like it, you'll be heard and you'll be respected. But over time, I did realize that no, that is a little bit untrue, unfortunately. Like the male DJs or whatever do seem to take precedence. But I still feel like if you work hard enough, as we all have, we can eventually get ourselves heard. But we just need to work that little bit harder and just put ourselves out there a little bit more to get to the same level that the male DJs get to, So I think that's starting to change, though. I think it's shifting. There's a lot of great female DJs coming through as well. And, I think there's a lot more equality coming through now, which is great.
Did you ever think of DJing, or are you doing that too?
Oh, sadly not. Like I kind of toyed with the idea early on, but I'm not very coordinated, and I thought I will be that person on stage that, a chord comes out and everything turns off and I don't know what to do and I'm panicking. I'm like, I know what to do with singing. I know what to do with organic instruments and acoustic instruments, but as far as DJing, it's a whole other realm to me. So I'll leave it to the experts.
Yeah, absolutely. But you definitely give an additional value. Thanks for your music to a DJ set,
Yeah, but the actual DJing side of it, I would probably take away
You did
value
massive
from that.
collaborations, Cosmic Gate, Armin van Buuren, Marcus Schulz, and so many more. I follow your career from many years, and I'm very excited to have you here.
Oh, thank you so much. I've been very lucky to work with some really great people. I kind of fell into that with Dash Berlin and Cosmic Gate. It was like almost a happy mistake that I got to work with those guys. And
a happy mistake.
Yeah, it was. It was like people were still on MySpace. It was 100 years ago. And I did one song with one DJ. And after that, Dash Berlin reached out on MySpace and were like, oh, can you write a song for us too? I'm like, I don't know anything about dance music, but let's give it a go.
Yeah, because your first single in 2016, right, with Chris Lake,
yes.
was a huge hit.
And I didn't know, because we recorded this like a bedroom demo. In his bedroom, I met Chris through my publisher, and he'd never recorded a vocalist before either. And so we were like, let's just write a song and see what happens. And I never knew that he released it. I went back to Australia and I was in a rock band. And my rock band was my thing. That was my thing. And I was like, this is my thing. Okay, this dance song, if it comes out, that's a side thing. I never knew that would become the thing. So
trance music was a side thing? Because, I just wanted to ask you, how do you go from rock, as you were a successful?
Yeah, you are a rock person,
I'm
right?
a rock person, and I guess you can still kind of see this, and I feel like my soul is still like rock and acoustic, and I love trance music. It's been great to me, but I still don't know anything about it.
You developed a massive rock project with your brother, right?
I mean, it wasn't massive, but it was a project.
And that was in Australia, right?
Yeah, it was in Australia. And, it was great and we loved it. But having a band, I realized pretty quickly when the one dance track started to do well, we had a band of 6 of us. We're like, hang on a second, we're paying to do shows. There's 6 of us traveling with drum kits and flights and hotel rooms, and this is never going to work.
Again, the misconception about materialistic artists.
And I was a terrible waitress. So I'm like, I'm going to have to be a full-time waitress, which I suck at. And, trying to do the rock band and the sticky carpets of playing to 40 people. Or I can jump ship and try and do this dance music thing that I know nothing about. But I feel like I write the same songs no matter what, whether a DJ mixes it or whether it's in a rock band. I'm sure you're the same, right? With writing pop songs or dance songs. We write the songs from our hearts, and however they're produced, they become then the genre.
And then you let the producer see it, right, in the way that he sees it.
That's right. Because, when you break them down, a song on a piano or a guitar is the essence of the song, and then the production is what takes it to the genre that it's going to become.
So which has been the most challenging episode of your career?
Oh, gosh. There's always been ebbs and flows, but I think like we were also speaking about before, sometimes the touring, as much as I love it, I love touring so much, but sometimes when you haven't really slept properly for an entire week, and like we said before, you're sleeping on a floor at an airport because your flight's been cancelled, and you just feel like you're about to lose it. Those times can be challenging, but then when you arrive at a show and people are singing the words to your songs, even if you haven't slept in 3 days, you get another energy. It comes from somewhere else.
I know, especially
and I love it.
in the beginning, right? You don't sleep in 5-star hotels.
No, you don't. Yeah, you're in a smelly tour bus with 6 guys when you're in a rock band.
You're right. You
like
almost pay yourself in order to sing there.
You do. You do. You pay
Yeah.
to do the shows sometimes. You're like, once you pay for all the costs, the fees don't cover it. And all the dance music shows the same. When I first started, I was paying my own flights and I was doing the shows for free.
But there's
like,
a personal satisfaction in performing, you know.
We wouldn't trade it for the world, right? Because music, if it's in your blood, it's in your blood. And you're like, I don't know what it is, but I have to get this music out there. I need to perform this. It's something that's in you and you can't stop it. So
we were just talking earlier that only crazy people become artists.
Yes. And it's true. It's true.
So who is Hemma on the stage and who is Hemma off the stage?
Ooh,
okay.
One.
That's a very good question. No one's ever asked me that before. And in reality, I'm incredibly shy. Now I've learned to be more outgoing, but my natural self I was like, why the hell did I become a performer? My mum always laughs at me. The first school concert that she went, all the other kids were at the front performing to the audience, and I stood at the back and faced the back wall for the whole 10 minutes. And I just stood there with my face to the back of the wall. I wouldn't look around and look at anyone because I was so painfully shy. So when I started, I loved writing music and making music, but the performing side of it terrified me. So I had to do the fake it till you make it, and put on a bit
That's fascinating.
a persona. And then after a while, after you do, 100 shows, all of a sudden it's natural. And your stage persona is almost just one aspect of your personality. And the behind the scenes is still a little shy and whatever. And
So did you struggle with your visibility?
A little. It was more of that going on stage, like that fear of almost like the fear of public speaking that people get. The same thing of like, oh my God, where am I going to stand? What am I going to say? What's going to come out? But after the first, you do quite a lot of shows, and it just starts to come naturally more. How are you with this as well?
The fear of being judged, right? Basically.
Yes, exactly, and being seen in that way, because you're somebody that's been shy. You don't want anyone to look at you, and all of a sudden, all these people are looking at you. And you're not actually being paranoid, like they are looking at you. So.
No, but it's very weird because I've met, and it's my case also. I met a lot of artists that are actually shy people, even if they love being on stage. And for me personally, what helped me a lot was just, of course, the love of music. And I was like, I have to do this because I just have to get it out there, and there's no other way.
Yeah.
And then I just went to the theater university.
Amazing.
It was like fake it till you make it. Also,
amazing.
I have to learn, how to think on the stage and how to be present and how to actually enjoy how much I love this.
Yes.
Right? Because it's a pity to not.
Yes, totally.
Yeah.
It's almost like, it's like acting for a start, but then it becomes the real you. Like, I'm not acting when I'm on stage now. It's very, very real, and I love the connection that I have with the people that are there. But being able to have the confidence to walk out on stage was almost like a persona that I had to create for a start. But I think that's the nature of being an artist, right? Like all of us that are artists, I feel like to have that ability to tap into that sensitivity to be able to write a song and tap into other people's emotions, I think we're all very self-aware and we can be quite self-deprecating to be able to have that introspection, to be able to write a song, because people that are completely unaware, they don't tap into that level of emotion to write a song in the first place. So it's the nature of artists, I think.
Obviously, yeah, because there are entertainers that are just entertainers, and they don't have the creative part, and that's great. They're amazing entertainers. So do you love, I bet you love both, but which is your favorite part of all of it? Being on stage or the creative part?
To be honest,
just about to ask the same
question. To me, it's the creative. I mean, I do love both, but for me, the creative, I feel like it's almost like a form of channeling. Like you get tapped into this source of inspiration, and when these ideas come through and you have no idea what they're going to be before they come out, but you just feel this like sense of inspiration bubbling, you're like, what's this going to be? And you get to the end of a song and it's something tangible, and you're like, I had this weird sense of an idea a day ago, and now I have something tangible that I can play for people and listen to in my car. It's kind of magic to me. So
it's like Christmas.
Yeah, it is, and you never know what's going to come out. And even if I write a song that I love, I still don't know, can I ever write a song again? after that. I'm still like, I don't know where that came from, how am I ever going to find another one? So I really feel like it's like a magic that comes from somewhere else that's not within yourself. So that to me, yeah, it's a gift from somewhere else. It's like, do you feel like this too? Like it's like tapping into somewhere, another realm or something.
Magical gift.
Yeah. And connecting with people on stage also is very magical, but that's more like a real, I guess it's like a real human thing, whereas the writing to me feels like, I don't know, it's otherworldly somehow.
It's from a different world.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
If that makes sense.
So you're a singer-songwriter.
Mm-hmm.
You produce also?
Well, you know, I suck at, like, I can't do dance music producing, but as far as organic music, like the last album that I did, I produced, well, I co-produced with also my brother and another friend, just because we knew how we wanted it to sound in our heads, and we didn't know what the hell we were doing, so we just had to like, but we all know how to play a couple of instruments.
But the result is fabulous.
And well, you know, we know how to play a couple of instruments, and we were like, let's just bang enough sounds together until a song comes out. And
you're a multi-instrumentalist, so I'm curious about your musical background. How did this all started? Because your brother is in the music also.
He is. He's a guitarist, and I kind of forced him to play guitar. We were like 14. I was like, I need a guitarist. So I should have learnt myself, but you know, I sent him off to do that. I need to sing. You need to play this. I'm sure you'll do it better than me.
So you belong to a family where music was very important, right?
Yes. Yeah, my dad was a guitarist and a singer, and you know, not in a band or anything, but just for fun. But we always were singing harmonies outside. We lived on a farm.
So you grew up with music.
Yeah, we were like out by the, I mean, this sounds so cliche, but we're out by the campfire like playing guitar and singing songs when we were little. So
how difficult is from an Australian girl to you know, to develop her career abroad?
Oh God, really difficult. And it was so many years, like I'm now like 100 years old. So it took me so many years to...
No, you're not.
So it took me so many years to get there, and I tried so many
I'm 110.
different... No.
Yeah.
Vampires. Yeah, so it took me a long time, and I started in like the rock music and acoustic music, and then pop music, and I moved to London, was writing for other people, like, you know, the pop idol at the time, which is like The Voice now. So my publisher sent me there to write pop songs for other people. But then I realized I didn't like that world of being in a room with 4 other songwriters, like, what are we going to write today? What rhymes with this? It felt very like cynical and
very businessy.
Yeah, very businessy. And I was like, these songs have no meaning. They're not going to affect anyone anywhere. I need to write music that's kind of from my heart. But then I went back and did the rock music again, and dance music again, like I said, was a side happy mistake. It was one song. I never tried to go into that world. All the other worlds I was trying to go into, I kept getting doors slammed in my face for like 10, 15 years. Dance music, I guess that's what happens when something's meant to be. That I did that, I'm like, okay, sure, that's done, but nothing's going to happen, and I'll focus on the real thing. But the doors just kept opening in dance music without me even trying to open them, whereas the other doors just kept getting slammed on me. So that made me change my path into dance music.
That's very important for new artists that come, you know, that they know that we've all had doors slammed in our faces.
A lot.
The biggest artists in the world had a lot of, that's part of this business, you know, rejection is part of the business.
So how many no's did you get?
Oh God, I can't even begin to imagine. It was 10 or 15 years of no's, and then almost yeses, like signing a record deal.
Almost yeses.
Yeah, like you'd get like, oh good, we've signed a record deal with Sony, we've made it. And then the person that signed us quit the job, and we got handballed to somebody else who didn't care. And then our album got shelved, and then all of a sudden you're back to where you started again. Or, you know, all of these like 1 step forward, 2 step back. So I had 10, 15 years of like these.
So it's all about being persistent.
Persistence, and also I think honing the skill of writing. I think that's something that's very often overlooked, especially in dance music. I think people think, well, I'll learn to produce and that's enough. But I think the songs have to be there, and that takes time and it takes experience. I don't think, like, I listen back to the songs I wrote when I was 19 and they didn't mean anything because I didn't have any life experience, you know. Some people can write amazing songs at 19, of course, but for me, I was like, I needed more life experience to be able to draw from that and write songs that actually meant something. So that took some time. You need some no's and some setbacks to be able to have a bit of, you know, heartache or whatever in you to write about, don't you think?
Like the pain.
Yeah, that's how the good songs go. I used to break up with people on purpose so I could write a song, because if you're too happy, yeah, if you're too happy, it's not coming out. Yeah.
So name us 3 top artists that influenced you.
Oh gosh, like back in the early days. Well, I mean, gosh, my earliest influences were like Tori Amos and Sarah McLachlan, because and Kate Bush. And in the last maybe 10, 15 years, people like M83, and, you know, a little bit of more electronica kind of stuff. But I like all genres of music, actually. I'm kind of influenced by anything that's a good song. Even occasionally I'll listen to like country or acoustic or pop, whatever, as long as it's a good song.
As long as it's good music.
Right? Yeah. As long as it's got something that kind of hooks you in and makes you feel something.
And 3 top songs, if they come to your head now, that mean something to you, that were there for you in a moment in time, you know?
Yes, okay. So again, Tori Amos, Northern Lad.
The Dirty Ditto.
Northern Lad. I was in London and it was grey and it was gloomy and I was there and I was working 3 jobs and trying to get into songwriting and Northern Lad by Tori Amos. I don't know, it just kind of summed up that it sounded very like the Irish Hills kind of vibe to me, you know, and it did sum up that gloominess, but there was hope in the gloominess. So that song was quite, and the first dance song that ever got me thinking I could do this was Silence, the Delirium Silence that was remixed by Tiesto. That was one of the first dance songs that I heard, and I was like, oh, I want to do that. You know, that's
beautiful.
Cool. Yeah. And what else? Actually, another early dance song was that Dead Mouse one that he did with Longest Road. Do you remember that? That also got me into dance music, of thinking like, hey, I want to write this style of music.
It doesn't come to me right now, the song, but if you sing it to us.
Oh yeah, no, I probably can't sing it very well. I don't want to ruin it for everyone. Longest Road. So yeah, but I mean, there's been so many influential songs. Like for me, Fleetwood Mac or Kate Bush, like Running Up That Hill was a huge song for me as well. Like, but these are songs from when I was very, very little that my parents listened to.
And then, how magical was it that you started working with people that you admired and actually influenced?
Yes, yeah, it was super cool to actually be able to be, you know, in the same room as these people where you're like, oh, I've heard your songs, let's try to act normal. Be cool.
You made me make music.
yeah. Slightly intimidating, but yeah, super cool.
But you were actually an additional value to their music.
Well, it's debatable, but thank you.
No, you're too modest. You're absolutely fabulous, and you're recognized by a whole world. So
you are an icon of dance music and trance music, indeed.
Oh gosh, thank you. That's funny. I don't see that. Yeah. It's so funny. You don't see that yourself for anything, do you? I always think like I just need to write a better song and do something a little bit more, you know. But yeah, that's really nice to hear.
How do you deal with your success?
I still never class anything as success. I don't think, because there's always something more that we want, right? As an artist, it's always looking forward to the next thing that we want to create. So everything that I release, I'm like, okay, I don't listen to it again once it's released. I'm like, what do I want to write next? Yeah. Once it's finished, like I feel like my time with the songs is the writing and the creating. Once that's over, I never
It's done.
It's done. And so I don't even look. I don't look at the comments or anything. I'm terrible at social media. I should like respond, but I actually I almost don't want to see that. I'm like, okay, I need to figure out what's the next thing, because you're only as good as your latest song, I suppose. So I want to make sure the next one is better somehow, you know?
Wow, that's fascinating what you're saying. So I guess that's still the shy part of you that doesn't want to deal with it. Like the fact that you don't understand how successful you are, that is magical, actually.
It's weird. Well, I mean, I never, also because I came from a rock background mostly as well, so I saw all the rock people and the pop people as being successful, and dance music is still very foreign to me. So my friends in Australia still don't know what I do at all, because they listen to bands and indie stuff or whatever. So they're like, oh, that's nice. You do dance music. Great. You know, but they've not heard of any of it. So
that's amazing. Yeah. So you're touring all over the world. Mm-hmm. What's your favorite festival and your absolute stage to be on?
Oh gosh, there's so many. It's really, you know what, actually Untold Festival in Romania, and I'm not saying that because you're Romanian. It is like one of the best festivals in the world. And oh my God, the people there are so friendly. The vibe is amazing.
Yes, we are.
Untold has to be there. Like, yeah, Untold's up there for sure.
So you have a favorite floor to entertain, right? A favorite audience.
Oh, yeah. Like, I feel like in Europe also the audiences are wonderful, but in America also, like the audiences here, especially like the festivals like Nocturnal, like the Wonderland festivals, the Insomniac festivals are always amazing. But in a weird way, I actually really like the small club shows too, because I feel like it's really intimate. And, you know, when you can, like, grab people's hands or you're really close with people, you can give people hugs and whatever else. I really love that too. So festivals can sometimes be a little detached because you're further away from people. So both have their very special moments.
So Untold is in your top 3?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
That is amazing news for Romania.
It's the best. I hope I get to go
Italian?
back.
You have to name an Italian festival.
I never got to go to an Italian festival. I've done a couple of club shows there, but yeah, I guess I don't know, do Italians like trance music as much, or it's more like techno?
They do, but I had amazing memories with your music.
Oh, really?
In Australia, of course.
Australia more, I guess, yeah. Even though my friends don't listen to me there, but I appreciate you did. Thank you.
Yes, I did. Many years ago.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did some club shows in Italy once, but no festivals. But hopefully one day.
Yeah, nightlife in Italy is nice. I remember when I was younger.
It is. They are more into techno music.
Yes, techno is like really popular right now.
Rome and Milan were like amazing for parties and nightclubs.
Super great clubs. I remember like when I first started, I went to Rome and Milan quite a few times, but to the clubs but the clubs were the best vibe, like super fun.
And we actually.
I remember the supper club.
Yes, of course,
my God,
of course.
Yeah.
Supper club.
We actually had a massive wave of dance music in early 90s.
Oh, wow.
Italian dance music
cool.
put the base of dance music worldwide.
Oh,
nice.
We still have many releases that are on the books.
Mm-hmm.
So who are the biggest artists then?
I can tell you Gigi D'Agostino.
Oh, yeah.
Amazing.
Amazing.
Amazing artist. Yes, huge artist. And well-known international artists are actually taking few of their tracks in order to make a new version for these days. Yes.
Isn't it crazy, like the times that we first started and now those songs are becoming like retro and they're being redone again. Now I'm like, what? These songs are already 10 years old. It's crazy.
I know, and they're
for
huge
example, we had Eiffel 65. They released Blue.
Oh my God, that song was huge.
It was huge.
Yep.
That was redone, re-edited by David Guetta in I'm Good.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a massive success.
Huge hit. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That was like the first
So
days of
that
partying
was
in
the
Melbourne.
wave
of
the Italian dance music that had that massive, visibility worldwide.
Yes.
And thanks to that wave, we still have big hits and big releases of these days.
Yeah. Oh my God, that song was like, that introduced dance music to the world, basically, didn't it, as well? Everyone was singing that all over the world.
Yeah, it was huge. So I watched an interview with you, and I saw you said something that was very interesting, like your point of view about piracy. Mm-hmm. Can you tell us about that? Because it was like the first time in my life I've heard an artist say that, and I agree, basically, with what you said. But I want
okay, I'm not sure. What was it about piracy?
You said that piracy actually helped artists,
like how everything's derivative, kind of.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? She's right. Because artists, became more independent towards the record labels. And you were talking about before artists were making a lot of money from royalties and credits and and from just selling records, and then the whole industry just shifted and artists became more independent and actually started making money from touring.
Yes, exactly. Like, I mean, it is a double-edged sword. Like, I feel like, we can all miss the days where people used to sell CDs. I feel like sometimes, oh God, if I had some of the songs that I released that actually did okay in the days where people were buying CDs, I would have made some money. I was going to say way more money. No, some money. No. But in the other sense, now we all have the opportunity to be heard. And I feel like nobody used to be able to make records in their bedrooms and release it and put it on Spotify and be able to go and play shows off that and have the chance for something to go viral that doesn't have a major label record behind it, it was really hard back in those days, it still is, to get a major label record deal, but the major labels are starting to become a little obsolete now, I think, because everyone can do this independently. If you can, you know, go to the school of YouTube for a year or so and just like learn how to do the production side, learn how to do the marketing side and do all of this yourself, or hire a PR person, you have just as much chance of being heard as somebody on a major label record deal or whatever. So,
I know, but the business behind the industry, like the whole royalty and publishing situation, how do you learn that by yourself, you know? Because many of the artists that sign a first contract, they get screwed. Let's be honest.
Totally.
You know?
And a lot of us learn by getting screwed in the first few
industry,
times.
of course.
Yeah. I've been screwed a couple of times with publishing deals and things like that, where you're like, oh yay, I signed a deal, and
that makes zero money. And people cannot even imagine.
Like, oh, I'm not getting royalties now for 10 years, and they've taken everything, or I can't sign with somebody else because they've shelved me, you know, and it happens to a lot of people. So I think
the most awful,
the worst, yeah. And I think they do that. They sign people and they go, well, okay, we'll put it out, but we'll see if basically you do anything on your own anyway, and we won't promote it, but we'll hold on to you just in case something happens. So, you know, record labels do that all the time. So it's great now that artists don't have to sign their souls away to these companies, and you can go, okay, it's a lot more work, but you can put your music out there and you can be heard if you're really willing to put in the work and the effort. And it's a lot, but then you can tour, like you just said, and you get your money for touring instead of selling.
Yeah, and how social media help spreading your music?
Yeah, exactly. So much. If you get the loyal people that follow what you do, and you can reach out to them and you have that direct contact, which people didn't have in the past either. You know, there wasn't that direct link to the people listening to your music, so you can find out what they're responding to directly and not, and you can communicate with the people that are listening to your music, and it's so much more personal, which I love that as well. But yeah, then those people are going to come to your shows, and you'll get booked for shows in places you never thought you could play in otherwise. Like if I was with my deal with Sony in Australia that I thought was going to be the thing that made me, I never would have been able to play shows in Milan in a club or in Romania at a festival, because this is all from the music either going viral or social media or being...
So do you think your audience to be closer thanks to social media presence?
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. Which I should be better at social media. Some people are amazing at it. You know, some of the guys like Ben Nicky and stuff, they're fantastic, and they're all over TikTok, and because of this they even get more supporters that are all there selling out their shows and stuff. You know, it's just... You can go as hard as you like or as soft as you like there, but you can really connect directly to the fans or the people listening.
It's a lot of work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's it. But
it helps.
It's a direct line to people.
It's a work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like the people listening almost become like not like friends, but almost in a way. They're like people that you're like acquaintances with and you chat to regularly and stuff, and you know they're going to come to your shows and buy your records.
So did you
as well,
integrate that aspect into your artist career?
Yeah, I guess so. Like, I am not as good at social media as I'd like to be, because I'm a little shy and I don't like to post a lot of that myself. But I do like the communication aspect of like talking to people. If someone sends me a message on Instagram or about their life or
do
whatever,
you post
I like
exclusively music content or also personal?
No, I just post kind of whatever. I should plan it better.
I really should plan it better. She's being modest. You have an amazing Instagram account.
But it's not very well planned.
And a very big foul. It's not planned maybe, but it's natural and it looks great.
I actually follow you. Yes, I do. Yeah.
Of course we follow her.
Oh, thank you.
So in 2016, your song Restless Hearts, produced alongside Mark Sigma, that's how you pronounce it, received a remix from Ben Nicky, and the remixed version was crowned Future Favorite at a State of Trance. What does that mean for a trance artist? Like, how huge is this?
I actually didn't realize that one was Future Favorite, so thank you for telling me. That was a while ago, but yeah, for me, I don't pay attention to these things, so I actually didn't know that one was Future Favorite, but that's really nice that it was. But I really don't look at these things, because like I said before, I'm like, I'm I don't know, it's weird. I'm more about like the song's already out. Okay, that one's gone. What am I doing next? I almost don't like to look at what people are saying about it. But that's really nice, though. I appreciate it.
That's your secret to success, right? You just go from one to another. Because having success is one, but then maintaining it is way harder. So
yeah, I guess so. I guess you don't. I feel like if I like get, I don't know, if I look too much behind me, then yeah, it'll be harder to move forwards. But that's really nice to know that it did. So I'm very grateful for that. And if people respond, I'm very grateful.
But Emma, you have a huge advantage. Trance music lovers are very loyal.
They are. I love that. I love that. Yeah, it's so nice.
You're their queen.
In other genres of music, there's a lot of
I
haters.
am, for example.
Yay. But trance people, they're not haters as much, which I love that because being
They're
people
cool
that are
people.
like they're nice, they're friendly, and they're supportive. And same with the trance music community, like the DJs, the singers, everybody that works together. It's a very supportive community.
It's a small community, not this small, but not that small,
Yeah,
but it's within the dance
huge.
music industry.
Yeah.
It's a small community
Yeah.
of very loyal music, passionate.
is.
Yeah.
It is. It's a traveling family circus.
Exactly.
It really is. Everybody's kind of there for each other. And
I used to catch flights to attend the crazy trance music festival worldwide. Yes.
Amazing. Yeah, and see, this is the thing. Like the people that listen to trance music, they'll get on flights across the country or across the world for the shows,
Yes.
and it's kind of unheard
That's
of.
loyalty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So
don't
lovely.
think that happens in another
I used to
genre.
catch
No.
flight to attend the State of Trance
Yeah.
or Mirage or whatever it was,
Yes, yeah, and it's so incredible. Like when you're on stage, because you recognize people's faces, and it's so
Really?
yeah, totally. Because there's people that will be like
Wow.
up the front all the time, and it's so weird that you'll be like in Prague on stage, and you see a face, and then you're in Singapore, and you're like, oh my god, you were in what? How did you get here?
I
You're
think
in Prague.
that
What's
only
going on?"
happens to Beyonce. Probably.
But trans people are diehards with it, and it's amazing. I'm really grateful.
It
for
happened
that
to me a
in
couple
this
of times.
industry.
Artists were actually shocked to see
Yeah,
me.
really?
Yeah.
That is amazing.
I did a gig with an artist as a fan in Los Angeles, and after
Yeah.
2 days, I was attending the same artist gig in Sydney. And,
Oh my gosh! Yeah.
And he was kind of shocked,
Yeah.
Yeah.
How this guy
does he
can
do?
fly for 15 hours.
He's a fairy.
yeah,
He's teleported here.
yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing.
So in 2020, I'm very well informed. They're very informed. You joined forces with Ilan Bluestone and Moore Levy,
Yes, I can never say his name.
forming the progressive trance supergroup Elysian. Tell us about that.
Yes, well, this was, oh my God, I love, like, Ilan's productions and Mal's productions are incredible, like, the stuff that they've been doing with Anjuna and everything, and working with Ilan, he's an absolute genius. Like, when we're in the room together, we spent 3 days, we were meant to write one track, and we ended up writing, like, 5 songs in 3 days.
Chemistry.
Wow.
Yes, we didn't sleep. Like, it was very like ADD with both of us. So it was like just writing, and we're like, okay, let's make a side project because we've got enough stuff here to do it. And Ilan was like, we've got to get Mao on board because his production is amazing, and it is.
Sadly, you just click with.
Sadly, at the time that we formed this and started releasing was 2020 because we had a whole bunch of touring with Insomniac booked for the year, like 40 or 50 shows or something we were supposed to do, and have this huge launch of the act, like it was going to be a group that was really pushed. But unfortunately, it all got cancelled with 2020. So we had a little false start, but I do believe that we have a lot of good music that hasn't come out yet. So hopefully we'll be able to release that soon and get things going again. But either way, I'll continue to work with them. Like with Ilan especially, we're going to work on some more stuff just because we're great buddies and,
Yeah,
I love
that's
their
very. I'm very curious. How did you deal with the whole COVID situation? Because it was a few years of
just nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah. Well, I was, and I hate to say it because I know a lot of people
It
had a
was
lot of
death
difficult
of the music
times, and it
industry.
was death of the music industry. Yeah, but I was supposed to do a show in Thailand, and I'd moved to Miami at the time. Supposed to do a show in Thailand, and I went to visit my parents in Australia on the way. And as I arrived in Australia, they shut the borders.
And Australia was
And that
one
was
of
military lockdown.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I was living with my parents for 10 months in my room from high school when I had the luggage for 1 week. So
Australia's always been a very conservative states in order to, to keep your environment protected, right?
It's true, but I never realized how much Australians were, like, I thought Australians were very, like, free-thinking and very, like, anarchists in a way, power. And flower power as well and stuff, but they were everybody just went by the rules all the way, and, it kind of didn't really work for them in the end, but the lockdowns were so intense. But in another way, I was grateful for it because I got to spend 10 months with my parents who I never get to see, who are getting older.
At least you weren't without them.
And I mean, by the end of the 10 months, we were like cabin fever. But for me, in a way, it was good because I stopped touring. So I created my album with my brother. We went back to piano because I used to teach classical piano years ago and I hadn't played it for so many years. So
you're a classical piano teacher?
Yes, I was when I was like 20 years old. But I hadn't played piano for so long with touring and I didn't have one. So I had my piano at my parents and
you went back to the roots.
Yeah, my brother and I made the album. I started a couple of other businesses.
Claudia, when you are an artist, you are an artist.
Yeah, but it was so fun. It was like, and I was having, my parents and I were having dinner parties together every Friday night, like dressing up, even though we spent 24 hours a day together.
COVID was fun.
We would like dress up and have our Friday night dinner party until 10 months later, we're like, oh my God, you again. But yeah, it was nice, but...
Where were you on COVID?
I was here in Miami.
Miami was good.
So it was just like
Miami
nothing ever happened.
Yeah. Yes.
We were so paranoid.
Was kind of like Australia.
Was that really locked down and you were there as well? Oh my gosh.
Italy too.
Hardcore.
Yeah,
Miami was like really free and I felt like such an idiot. I came from Australia who was like, we were all terrified, like the news was ramming it down our faces every day. So I arrived in Miami when I got back here wearing like 2 pairs of gloves and 2 masks and I got off the plane like
people were looking at you.
Yeah, and they were like, what the hell? Yeah, so but after a day I was like, okay, I take gloves off, masks off. We're good to go.
So talking earlier about women supporting women.
Yes.
We all have a very good friend.
Yay, we do.
That supports you and you guys also collaborate. You're very good friends.
Mm-hmm.
Her name is Adina Butar and she's the wife of Markus Schulz and they are the fabulous couple that did the first episode of our Revolution Clock. And she's right here.
Yes, let's
and
bring her in.
And we want to share with our audience the chemistry of the two of you, which is magic.
Yeah, she's amazing.
Adina.
Bring her right in. She's like, what? Me?
Come here. Because I know you guys are working since when together? Hello.
Yay.
Welcome.
I'll move on over and you can sit here. Oh no?
That's perfect, yes.
Okay, you're at home here already.
Sorry.
Hi everybody.
You are already familiar with this studio.
Yes,
we did a beautiful podcast with you and Markus last week.
Yes, we've been here just a week ago, so
we're very happy to see you again.
I'm very happy to be here too in this formula now.
Right, it's so natural. We miss Markus, but
yes,
it's fine. Where is he now?
Well, he's in Europe. We just came back from Amsterdam dance events, and I flew by myself, and he's still there for some shows.
How was it?
It was great. Amsterdam dance events is always fun and.
But this year
fun
was
and productive too.
Was very, very nice.
This year?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, every year, honestly, it's all the industry there. So you meet with people everybody's in the same place, right? That's the cool thing about Amsterdam Dance Events and also Miami Music Week. Because
I attended that week for many years. Yes.
Miami Music Week, it's the same here in Miami, which is great because it's home. And everybody from the industry is just coming and it's just perfect because you go party and then you make deals while you party.
Work party.
And I love also how the city of Amsterdam engaged the format and the week.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you have all the yellow flags.
That's true.
A lot of pop-ups all around the city. Yes.
But it's crazy if you think about Netherlands because they have almost over 1,000 festivals. The entire year they have over 1,000 festivals. So everybody knows about the dance music industry is actually coming from there. If you think about it, it's huge and it's they embrace it because. yeah, like even the government like embrace it because they make so much money from the music industry. It's
Yeah.
It's like their biggest export, right?
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
They're like, everybody come here.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
And we shared with them a memory of a beautiful trance music festival that we did back in the years. Electronic,
The Electronic
Family.
Family. Yeah, I didn't know this had stopped now, did you?
Really? No, I
Yeah.
didn't know either because like so
fun.
many festivals. They're like, yeah, it's just like every year, like as an artist, you probably get booked to like different kind of festivals, you know, like depending on the country. But yeah, I mean, some probably stop, some continue. Like, yeah.
So you guys share an amazing friendship. You guys are collaborating together. When did you guys meet? Like, what's the story behind it?
So many stories.
I think it was
Fabulous
Singapore.
artist.
It was Singapore, wasn't it? Oh my gosh, and there's quite a story behind that
We have a
first
funny
night.
story, yes. A funny story behind our first meeting. Well, of course, we knew each other for a long time. We kind of like share the same. Like sometimes in the past, we were like booked maybe different days, but like we obviously know each other for such a long time. Maybe because of Marcus, we were like, you know, getting to know each other much better, of course. But Singapore was the first time many years ago. I think it was like 8 or 9 years ago.
Yeah,
When we
it
first
was,
met.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
We had a show together, and because we'd been kind of on festivals together, hadn't we? And we'd say hi, but that was it. We never got to hang out.
Yeah.
But we were all in the same show. Marcus was DJing, and Adina was singing, and then I was singing my set.
Yeah, and then after your set, I think that we were just like kind of backstage, like having fun, and that's when we
That's
actually
what I
like
mean.
bonded.
I know, I
It was
can
like-
tell that you should have such an amazing bond. You know? Like
Did-
sisters.
did you-
Like, oh my god, you're so cool! You're so cool!
Champagne
Yeah.
That was like instant besties.
Yeah.
It was so fun.
Yeah,
Did you ever think about doing something together with the voices of the two of you?
Did we? Like,
Yeah, you guys did. You know, we actually, I think we spoke about this like maybe 2 weeks ago, or sometime somebody else mentioned it for the first time ever, and we're like, oh, that would be cool.
Yeah. A lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like, they can ask like, you know, about it. I mean, we're obviously like we can do it. Like, of course, if it's like.
Your versatility as artist is, of course, huge.
Yeah, I'll join you guys.
Yeah.
Look, we look like a group. I am curly and brunette and the blonde.
Oh, yeah, perfect.
No, I'm sure it would be an amazing collaboration. So your last single is with Marcus, right? Tell us
Yeah,
about
that's right. It just came out like, what was the release day? Like
Friday.
Friday, like really recently. So, and Adina was producing the video as well, and we were all working together on this. So
You produced the video?
I a lot of people don't know this, but I actually do produce like probably like the last 7-6 years of Marcus videos. Yeah, like the production side. Yeah, it's like a lot of his music videos are done by
You didn't even
But
say
she's
that.
in the bag,
See,
yeah.
she's like a triple threat. She's
Yeah.
a triple threat. She's not. She's not bragging about it, but she's
Yeah.
a triple threat.
Oh, thank you.
Many
amazing.
talents. Yeah. So we had so much fun working on this video and working on the song together and everything as well. And yeah, so this just came out about a week ago.
How did the song come up?
Oh,
What was the
actually, we were just
inspiration?
writing together, weren't we? And
You were in the studio just vibing, yeah,
Just
just perfect.
vibing.
Like, yeah, her and Marcus are perfect. Like, when they get
It's very
together, they are
fast.
really like, yeah, they get it done in like 2-3 hours. That's bam.
Actually,
like,
yeah, it was
they-
really quick. The other guys were like, we're just going to go get some food and some coffees and we'll come back. And they came back, we're
Yeah.
like, we're finished.
Okay.
We've done. Yeah.
Literally, like,
Yeah,
we
yeah,
went
it
to
was
get
great.
coffee, exactly, and then when we came back, they were like, okay, we're ready to record. Perfect.
Yeah, it was great. I wish all songs were like that because, you know.
Because that's how it goes with people that you have chemistry, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
When you have
Yeah.
chemistry, there's no
so
doubt.
easy.
Yeah, and it's rare because I wish that would happen with everybody, but other people sometimes I labor on the songs for like 6 weeks and I'm like, it's not going, but yeah.
Did you ever
when it
struggle in a collaboration?
Oh, constantly, yeah. I mean, if the vibe's not there, and sometimes there's people that you really want to
Even
work
with big names?
especially with big names, because sometimes I'll have somebody that I've always wanted to work with, but they'll send me a track, and even if the track is amazing, it's not throwing me melodies. And for me, I have to feel inspired to be writing. So even if the track sounds good as a track, but it's not throwing me any melody ideas or inspiration, I just get stuck. And I feel like if I have to think about it cerebrally and it's not coming from a place of inspiration, then the song sucks. So, you know, if I'm sitting there going, what rhymes with this, or what could I sing here, and it's been more than 2 or 3 days, then it's done.
I also
It's
heard,
done.
I loved something, or I read something that you said that I really, really loved. You said something that when you have a blockage and you're trying to get to write about that blockage or something. You said something like you feel like you're in the Inception movie. I was like, wow, this is deep.
I do that with some of the songs on my album. I think I was like writing about the actual process of being in writer's block. Yeah, so it was a bit of Inception. But yeah, it's.
I always feel like the best inspiration comes right away. Like you feel like right away. If it's like you're just a channel, and then if you hear it and it comes and it comes, and if not, then probably just have to let it go because it's like And it happens. I mean, everybody who's an artist knows this. Like I guess who's a writer. Like it's just like okay, just write whatever it is when it comes first. Like record it on your iPhone, do it like right away. You know what I mean?
It's always
the first one is the best.
The first one, right?
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
And if it's not on the first one or the second one, then you're like, okay, it's just not happening. No matter how much I try, trying ends up failing. Like it's got to be channeled. Like you say, it's a channel.
Yeah.
It's not from you, and you tap into something that's almost like it exists somewhere else, and you catch it before it flies on by.
And even when you record, and you can record the first voice, and then you're ambitious, and you record many times. And
yes.
Crazy.
Take
and
number
then,
28.
And then you go back to the first one. We're like.
Oh, that was
Wait a second, that was better.
First I nailed it. Absolutely. Yeah, you're like take number 17. I think this is better, and it's not working.
How do you deal when you work with an artist you admire, but you don't find the chemistry you were expecting?
Oh,
it's
that's a good
always hard, and you don't usually get the call back. I don't know. Do you ever find this? Like it's happened to me quite a few times.
Disappointment.
That's disappointing, and I try, and I'm like, and you feel really bad because I think the people that are more producers that came from the computer side of production than the songwriting, they don't understand why you can't get an idea because for them they can create more sounds and whatever else, but for us as a songwriter, you can't create a good song if it's not channeling through you. So
and maybe sometimes one of the things about like Marcus, for example, he always knew what he wants from lyrics, right? Like he always comes with concepts and stuff. A lot of the producers don't. They just expect you to come with everything. So it's almost like okay, well, what? Like let me like it's. Even more like sometimes I feel like it's cool to just kind of meet with a person before. Like, okay, let's just have dinner or have a few drinks and let me know a little bit about you or what are your values about life because that way it would be much easier for you to kind of like write something that would be connecting with them because if you just go in a studio and you don't connect as a person or as a life values, I feel like then it's not gonna be it just has to click in my opinion.
Absolutely.
So it's just and then in the end I almost feel like it's meant to be or it's not meant to be, so maybe that collaboration wasn't meant to be, so just have to let it flow. Like in the end you have to know you're important, like you're an artist that everybody's like their own artist, so
but it is horrible if it's somebody you really want to work with and it's a really big opportunity and you can't get anything and you have to be like, sorry, what I did is crap, It's happened to me
Do you
before,
have the same faith that if something is meant to be, will be?
I definitely do, but at the same time, I've definitely beaten myself up over collaborations that I'm like, but I really want this collaboration, and
I knew it because I can see how you're.
And I'm so mad with myself, but I can't,
It's gonna be.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna force it, but the more I force it, the less it's coming. So.
Do you feel yourself more a lucky person or a persistent person?
A little of both. I think instead of lucky, I would say like a synchronistic person, perhaps, because I think either you're in the flow or you're not, So, it's a lot about being in the flow, but also a lot about being persistent. But I'm also quite like, I don't know. I mean, I feel like sometimes like with songwriting and stuff, things go in bursts. I don't know if you feel like this, where I have a very productive time and then I'll have a very unproductive time for a while.
We all have that, but we're just talking about like I don't want to say names or anything, but we were just at a festival in Asia and we're talking about names.
No,
when somebody played out.
We're gonna meet these people.
Like this song, like he was not even ready for being such a success. Like there, like we were talking about this before. There are a lot of like producers who are not ready. Like they have a song that it becomes really successful overnight, and they're not ready for it. And we're like just like, whoa, they have to learn how to DJ. They have to learn how to they have to tour now. They have no idea about tour life. So in a way, I feel like we're lucky to a point where at least we are stable in the industry for so many years, right?
Yeah, true.
Like, and then if something comes up and it's gonna be like a huge success, like that's going to be overnight, you're going to be ready because you're ready with the tour life, you're ready with like
True.
everything, you know, like it's such a big difference. Yeah.
True. And also on the other hand of that as well is that if you do one song and it doesn't hit, then you know you
You're
can do
good
another
to-
song that
yeah,
will.
because
You know,
that's
like
what we do.
we're hanging our hat on just one song and that's all.
Exactly,
So
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah, we were talking about like I have so many like I personally have a lot of songs in my computer that have never been heard, and Marcus always tells me, he's like, don't worry about it. I think it's more important what you don't put out than what you put out.
Yes.
It's like that's a thing that I learned from him,
Absolutely.
and I'm like, whoa, I want to put out everything.
Yeah.
He's like, really? Like why? But it's just because you're so excited as a writer. Like as a writer, you really are feeling like every single thing you're writing. It's like, wow, I want people to listen to this. Maybe like I don't know, 100 people are gonna be inspired. Maybe somebody needs this, right?
Yeah.
And he's always trying to like kind of like, okay, just try to learn from me that I think it's more important what you don't put out than what you put out because I mean
That is
very
deep.
true.
It's interesting. Like it's interesting. Yeah.
That is who you are. That's the base of your artistry. And then when you go out on stage, you have that depth and that
Yeah,
you know.
It's the quality, not quantity thing, isn't it?
Exactly,
As well?
yeah,
And
yeah.
sometimes those songs that while you're in the moment of them and you're like, oh, this is the best thing ever, and 3 weeks later you're like, no, it
That's
wasn't.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah.
There is probably a misconception that all artists are friends to each other. It's more about social media, engagements and, featuring tracks released. So dance music apparently is an industry in which all the DJs are close friends, are very related to each other.
Adina's laughter.
Is this, is it right or is it
I
just
don't I mean, we are lucky to be we're obviously very,
course,
very good friends.
yeah.
Yeah. So, and we always been, open to be friends with like.
I'm talking more about
everyone.
big names, big
Yeah.
DJs.
Well, I think that I don't know. I mean, maybe it's just also
The
the time,
testosterone.
like, I have no idea. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just almost like everybody probably thinks it's just one cake that you have to share your like little piece with. Like you're gonna have the same. You know what I mean? Like I don't know.
Others are throwing cakes.
Yes, exactly. But his father actually has a cake company. In case you didn't know.
Oh, really? Oh, that's
never
smart.
knew that.
Makes sense.
Oh,
He gets the
wow.
cakes for free, so he can throw as
my
many cakes as he wants.
So smart.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
No, anyways, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. We're actually always backstage. We're always friendly with
Yeah.
everybody.
I
But-
think so too.
If anybody has a problem with somebody, it's their problem. It's not ours. And I'm
Exactly.
trying to
Yeah.
like just kind of like we're trying.
So what's next for you girls? A new collab? Where are you touring? Are you guys touring a lot together? Do you meet often?
Well, lately, yes, we actually
Yeah, we have
did.
been doing a couple lately, which has been
Yeah.
so fun.
Yeah, we just had an Asia tour.
Because
We were in
you are
Vietnam.
part of the project Rabbit.
And yeah, we did the circus.
Yeah, well, because
Circus.
the song was on the Rabbit Hole Circus
Yeah,
album.
Rabbit
So
Hole Circus.
yeah, and the shows have been incredible with the circus performers and everything. And then it's been awesome having like Adina sing and Hellion sing and myself and Sarah DeWarren for one of the shows as well,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So it's been.
I
like
know.
a-
I was at 11.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, that was
she
super
was.
fun.
I
That's
loved
right,
it.
huh? Yeah, so it's been a great. I'm usually touring by myself lately as well, so it's been so much fun to do the shows with you guys and hang out.
Yeah. Last 2 weeks ago, I think we were in Vietnam, right? And we ended up after the show. It was a kind of early show, and we were just like being from here. And we went back to the hotel, and then we said, okay, well, let's see what's happening here. So there was a club in the hotel, and we're like, okay, let's go out. So we went, and we had fun. Like we were dancing and we were singing. Like we were singing all the commercial
fun.
songs, and we were like, okay.
Yeah, and all of a sudden we're like, oh, it's 5 a.m. I've got to get up and be at the airport by 7 or 8. So
Tour
yeah.
fun.
Yeah, but it was great fun.
But we
Yeah.
always have fun memories from like somewhere in the world. Yeah, it's true. Like when I hear that she's like on the lineup, I'm like, oh, okay, it's gonna be a good
Yeah,
one.
me too. We're like, all right.
And next tour in Miami? Where will we see you?
I think next year, right? Like, I honestly, this is a kind of a secret, but I think it's gonna be 3 more shows. In the same place that it was last time, so I don't say the name, but you get it. Probably it's gonna be 3 more Rabbit Hole Circus next year, and I think probably we're gonna be, all celebrating.
Fun.
Yeah.
Well, we can't wait to
Of
see
course.
you. So for New
Of
Year's, you guys are going to be at Avalon again,
Yes,
and
LA.
You are amazing. It sounds like I might be in Poland. I'm not 100% sure yet. I might be in Fresno with Marcus the night before, or I may be in Poland on New Year's Eve. So either one hasn't been signed off on yet. So whatever's meant to be, will be.
Poland, trance music scene is huge.
I'm in Poland so many times. I don't understand how there's that many clubs in Poland, but every year it's like one of my biggest markets that I keep going back to like 12 times a year or something. It's ridiculous, but I love it there. It's great. The people are very supportive, really supportive of trance music. It's awesome.
Yeah, I remember a few State of Trance shows in Wrocław.
Yes, yes. Oh my gosh, they're huge there. And now they've got the Dream State there as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's absolutely huge out there. Fun. Are you doing Dream State as well?
In Poland?
Yeah.
No, I'm not sure if this year. Probably
I
not.
don't think
Probably
so
not.
this
No.
year,
When is that?
actually. I think it's in April. I think we both did it last year, right?
yeah.
So, yeah.
So it will be next
Sorry, I
Tuesday.
digressed. But yeah.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you
for-
very much.
Thank you guys so much.
One more question for both of you.
Yeah.
So I want you guys to give an advice for little girls who wants to become Emma Hewitt and then Adina Butar. What's your advice for little girls who want to become you guys?
Do you want to go first, or shall I?
You want?
Okay, sure. I mean, I think any girls that have a dream of either, whether it's music or whatever it is, I think firstly, don't listen to people that tell you can't do what your dream is and you should get a real job. I think just follow your heart, follow your dream. But the main advice that I would also have, if you do that, is learn your skill, like learn to songwrite or learn to play an instrument and practice and practice and practice. And don't start trying to put things out until you're ready. When you're ready, send it to everyone and don't stop.
So don't be shy.
Don't be shy, but work, hone your skills first, and then just send it to everyone. Keep going.
Go in for the right
Spread your music, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Adina,
I think
what about
was
you?
Pretty the same. Like I would say that it's very important to follow your heart, and I think it's really important to be authentic. So don't become Adina or Emma. Just be yourself. You know what I mean? It's almost like just be authentic, follow your heart, and do what you're supposed to do on this earth because everybody comes with a mission here.
Yes.
So yeah, I feel
It's
like
meant to be okay.
Exactly.
But
So-
definitely, I think it's really important to find your element and just do what you feel you want to do.
Yeah. Totally.
Thank you so
Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Amazing
guys.
advices. Thank you, Emma. Thank you, Adina.
And this was the second episode of our podcast.
Let's say it together. Revolution o'clock.
On Revolution 935.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you guys. Love you.
Love you guys.
Ah!